Shalom Rastafari, Assalamu alaikum, peace to the kings and the queens of the earth. How's everybody doing today? I am just happy to be back on the platform. Took a couple weeks off, maybe about a week and a half off of mind, body, and soul. We did some transitionings, took care of some things, took care of some drama, took care of some, moving and transitioning and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was just been a rough couple weeks, but I am back. Back in the gym, back at mind, body, and soul. And there is no way that I wasn't going to talk about this issue. But first, when I get into that, I want to thank everyone who's been reaching out. I do see your messages. Some people just, we don't talk, but they haven't heard from me for a while. So they reached out and they just said, hey, I haven't heard your podcast in a while. Are you okay? And I really do appreciate that from the heart. So again, thank you. And I am getting back to that rotation now. It'll be pretty much released earlier because I'm getting earlier with the schedules. So I really appreciate that support. Now let's get into it. I want to talk about the Montgomery Brawl, Alabama Montgomery Brawl. It really was an ass whooping, to be honest with you. But just to go, if you have not seen it, I don't know how have you not, because this has been extremely viral, is that down in Montgomery, Alabama, right by this river, there was just like a party, big party, a couple boats out there. Looks like people were just having fun for a holiday weekend or something like that. And a group of white people who were renting a boat were parked illegally on the dock. One of the black security guys told them numerous times to leave. They did not. So he undocked them because literally the boat there's a bigger boat, one of those big carnival boats that was just, you know what I mean? It needed to dock on there. So, there's a big party going on and it was like, regardless of the situation, the security that says you need to move your boat, So the white people didn't. He pretty much undocked it, let the boat float down, not down the river, just down a little bit. And they got mad that he touched it, and they proceeded to, these white people were clearly probably drunk. They proceeded to whip this guy's ass. And I'm talking about, it looked like at one point with the security guard, it was about maybe 5 or 6 on 1. And they couldn't get into him because people were sitting there. So all the people are watching it, and they're from the dock area. And one of the young brothers jumped in the water, swam. Some people started coming down. And literally, just as time was going on, people were watching it, and once that boat docked, all hell broke loose. The staff came in, proceeded to whip everybody's ass. All those white people who were jumping that security guard got their ass whipped. I'm talking like on a major level. And it was good to see, to celebrate it. Well, on a basic level like this, when I see someone getting jumped, first of all, that's a pussy move. We all know that. If you're a man and you have other dudes there and you can't one-on-one fight somebody, then that's just, you're a pussy. That's it. 2, I do like to see when a person is getting jumped and then all of a sudden that get back is not like a next day thing, or if I see you, it is that same exact moment. It is karma coming back extremely fast. It is, our ancestors were kind of talking that day like, nah, this ain't happening today. And, it was also a reminder to some people, and I'll get into that in a little bit. It's not about, white versus black, really. It's really about specific white people who still have this mentality, right? And it's not a lot, it's not a whole race, but y'all know who I'm talking about. And I've lived in Alabama, and there is a entitlement that some racist white people have where they still think they're superior. So, to be as bold to attack a security guard, right? That's why they got arrested. And ultimately, you attacked a security guard. It wasn't just a fight that just broke out over a disagreement. You attacked a security guard and you jumped them. And so let's just think about how bold, that is. Like, you're not even worried about getting arrested. You probably wouldn't have never been arrested. You probably, have a great job and you just think that maybe some people and you don't really care. You understand? What I'm trying to say? This mentality is very, very odd to some of us that just abide by the law and wouldn't do that in person. So that's one. Number 2, they had female, like this group of white dudes. They had a couple of females, and there was a whole group, and they were getting involved too. They were punching, slapping, and hitting dudes, and next thing you know, they're getting their ass whooped. by females, right? Like females jumped out. I mean, just started whipping these people's ass. Just started whipping these people's ass and continued to, really, really, really do this on a whole level. Like really have no remorse in throwing people in the water, because it was like you jumping on my staff. And I do think that, again, it was a racial component to it, because I'm not going to lie and say that if I wasn't there, I wouldn't have been right in the middle of that. And there was the reason why there's a chair that's so prominent is because this man came out with a chair and proceeded to start hitting everybody in the head with a chair. Hit a female in the head with a chair, blah, because she was literally punching. And that's the thing. You can tell some people are drunk, and you can tell when some people, especially females, I don't know why you would jump in there thinking that you're not going to get your whoop. And when I watched the fight, I watched it numerous times. You could just tell these people did not, there are certain racist people who don't think that they would have ever been touched. They've been in little bar fights and they think they're tough, right? And when you jump a security guard and you didn't really think that everybody black around there is going to watch that shit and let it go down. You probably didn't think that. You probably also didn't think that. They turned around and a bunch of young kings lined up and proceeded to just whip their ass. And yeah, they were the three people who were jumping the security guard. They actually got arrested too, and there's some arrests there. But which really the synopsis and the whole conclusion of the situation isn't like, yeah, don't mess with black people. Don't. It's really more of, if you still have that mentality that we are going to sit there and allow you to do certain things. And I get why you would have that mentality because of where you're at, what you're raised in, and how you look at us. Well, you should change that mentality, because this is why I say that there are certain people in the world that need to get punched in the mouth, not just assaulted and they can bully it, but seriously, consistently punched in the mouth. Some people don't learn, right? I know some people who do not learn. There's something wrong with them. And those people might end up one day regretting everything, to get that one that God could send you a signal. Like, for instance, I've been hit in the face with a baseball bat, and I did not say, oh my God, I didn't feel sorry for myself whatsoever. Me and my boys always talked about that was the check that had to be cashed in, because before that I was whipping people's asses. And I bounced at a club in Soho for 3.5 years, played bus state football, stayed in the west side and the east side. The fighting was nothing to us. Okay, and I didn't lose too many, but I definitely won a lot. And then I had to get mine, right? Baseball bat to the face. Wow. So some of these people, it didn't humble me, but I always knew. What really humbled me is getting punched in the face when I was about 11. 11 years old, 10 years old, punched in the face and that boy was like 13 with a fistful of nails. Yeah. So some people need to understand that, like, you can't operate how you operate just because you think you're superior than everybody else. You get your ass whooped, right? It's just almost like if you take racial component out of it, it's like, you ever seen somebody who thinks that they can just like talk shit to a homeless person, and then when that homeless person turns around and whips their ass, they're surprised? Well, why did you do that? Because you thought that you were superior, right? You thought you probably were stronger, whatever. Yeah. That's why you don't underestimate anyone by their size, right? If I'm a guy, I don't care how small you are. You can know some jujitsu, Muay Thai, and be fucking built like a truck, and might put me in something ridiculous, or I might just have a weapon. Regardless, you respect everybody, right? And the disrespect that was displayed here looks like it was a situation that, again, it had a racial component to it, and they forgot. They didn't think that was going to happen. And again, this isn't a call or celebration type of situation, but what it is a reminder that, again, the scared Negro died in the 50s and 60s. You understand? The scared Negro died, the scared Negroes were kind of like my mom's generation. When they were my mom was always very nervous about scaring white people. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. That spook, right? Coming from North Carolina, you know what I mean? Having that mentality. And they like that. There's cops that like to intimidate. There's white people who like that. They don't want to be called racist, but tell you that flat out. They like the fact that people, really at the end of the day, fear them. And when you don't fear them, you take that power away. They don't like that. And then when you whip that ass, it's a reminder. That's why most of them stay the fuck away. That's why you don't see most of them come to the hood and get to shooting or, attacking, whatever, because you're going to get your ass whooped. This is not how it used to be. And, that was a reminder of it. Again, no one can say, oh, what if a bunch of, white people jumped out? Well, if it was reversed, we would say that guy deserved it. If you, a bunch of black kids, if 6 black people plus females were at this entire white area and they decided to jump a security guard and a bunch of people, white people started whipping their ass, we would, as black people, we would like, you shut your ass whooped. Why did you start? You should have known the surroundings. And it goes vice versa. Why did you start? You should definitely know the surroundings. You should definitely know who the fuck you fucking with. And you should definitely know at the end of the day that this new generation, these people from, these old school people from these like OGs, they're definitely not going to do that. And when there's alcohol involved and they see us online, do you think we're going to sit there and take it lightly? No. And it's just basic. There's nothing to really should be like, oh, you see what we can do. It's basic, man. I've seen this happen plenty of times. See, I'm from the school where we were fighting with no cameras. Understand, everybody holding their camera out. It could have got worse if there was no cameras. I'm from the school where there was no cameras. All right, everybody fighting for fucking 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We whipping that like no cameras. As long as there are no cameras around, you might fuck around and get something ridiculously done to you. So it's one of those situations where I just believe that it's always happened. It's no big deal. It's a reminder to everybody else that, it is what it is. And as black people, when we come together, it just shows the power that we have. However, at the same time, if someone is jumping a security guard, and no matter what race you are, you know what I'm saying, or jump somebody, you come in, I commend you for that too. Obviously, I commend my black people, but at the end of the day, this is something that I just wanted to speak on and talk about it. And just, my conclusion really is just, hey, good that they defended that brother who's just doing his job. Good that they, let people know that, stop it. They're fucking beating the hell out of your ass. And it's a reminder to certain racist white people that you might not want to do, leave us alone. And most of y'all really do. You'll just talk shit behind a computer screen. You'll go to a supermarket and with a high power weapon because nobody else has high power weapons, but you won't go to the hood with that shit. Right? Like, I dare you to go to Chicago with a high power weapon and say, I want to kill as many black people as I can. I dare y'all to do that. I dare y'all to do that. Right? And you know you wouldn't. So really at the end of the day, it's a reminder that, we ain't scared, never really haven't been scared ever. And, always been free. And we need to keep on fighting because honestly, when we align together, great things happen. So, and this is for the people too. All right. This is for the people. Trust me. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all listening. Thank y'all for being patient too. I haven't posted in a long time but I'm back and I appreciate it and love y'all. Hope to see y'all soon.